Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Dave Smith with And Another Thing with Dave. In this episode, I talk with Big Bear Radio about another horrible police brutality case in Louisiana, the case of Robert Green. So we'll get into this and much, much more. Thank you so much to all our listeners throughout the world. India, the UK, Ireland, Australia, Germany, and many more. Thank you so much.
Hey, buddy, I'm having a little technical difficulty over here. Don't know what's going on at this moment. Bear with me just one moment, if you will. How are you doing this morning?
I was doing all right. I tried messaging you on Instagram to try and push this back to 15 because I'm trying to get my shit together too. But that's okay.
Did you want to do that? Well,
we already have people pouring in. Why not? Let's just rip the Band-Aid off and let it fly. Let it go.
Let's roll with it. Okay. I am still
That's what we are. Sometimes
my mic in.
You know, we're the Friday morning drive. Sometimes it's a shit show. Sometimes it's not.
Hey, that's right. That's right. You know, live is live. And, there you go. Right.
Okay. Can I just ask a question that I have no knowledge base about, but also personal experience on?
Go for it.
What the hell is with ticks this season?
Oh, no. Did you get a tick?
Dude, I've had so many ticks fall off of me, like not actually buried in my skin, but like crawling on me.
Oh my God, that's so freaky.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have an issue where you are with Lyme disease.
I have a best friend that has Lyme disease.
Okay.
That's about it.
Let's hope that it's just your friend.
Yeah, right. But no, like I wonder if they're just bad this year due to like if that is related to COVID or anything, because like I guess I have had my cats outside a lot more, but I give them the flea and tick protection. And like there's just like today, I was taking a shower. All right. Now, I'm going to be personal here, and my bathroom is not the cleanest. So I reused a towel from the floor. And then after I used that towel, I was hanging it up on the shower curtain, and there was a tick crawling through the towel. That's like the worst thing.
Yeah, that could be freaky. That could be really freaky.
And I was just like, where the fuck did this tick come from? What was worse is it thought it was in an animal and was trying to find a spot to bite. So I studied it for a bit before I killed it.
Right. You just see it digging around. You're like, "Whoa, you're actually going to try to anchor on, aren't you, little buddy?"
It's actually trying to take blood from a towel.
You could just hear little Towley going, "Hey, Mr. Tick, want to get high?
You want to get high? Don't forget to bring a towel." Oh my God.
That is so good. That is so rich.
What's also weird is like my brother also introduced me to The Tick, which is an Amazon Prime series that has 2 seasons. And I've been watching that. And it's just like, I wonder if I'm just attracting them to me because I'm watching the show. But that's got to be crazy, right? That can't be real.
Well, you tick whisperer, maybe? I don't know.
Apparently. All right, we have a couple messages. We have a couple callers from our introduction from the morning. Let's get to those.
Big Bear, this is all because you've been getting into The Tick and telling me to watch The Tick. So, of course, ticks are attracted to you now because you love The Tick.
See?
Tickety tick tick.
Tick tock. It's a theory. It's a running theory. Definitely.
Have you been spending a lot of time on TikTok?
I have not, but that would definitely people send me TikToks all the time, so maybe that's just a part of it.
There goes that theory, baby. I was just thinking. I was just trying to, just brainstorming over here, trying to figure out possible solution.
Sure. I heard Dustin Hoffman smashed his phone after he got a TikTok.
Really?
No, that was a joke. But
Oh, okay.
some people may have gotten it. Other people may not have. Dustin Hoffman played Hook in Hook, you know, and there's that whole scene where he's like smashing all the clocks.
I did not see Hook.
You okay? First off, Rufio. Second off, Robin Williams. You have to see it.
Oh my God! Yeah. Done on the list. I don't know how I missed it.
I mean, it's a movie when I grew up, so maybe you were just, I don't know, too stoned at the time. Who knows? But you know, Robin Williams plays the character Peter Panning, a middle-aged man who has a family and forgot that he was fucking Peter Pan. So,
Oh, I love it already. Love it already.
All right, let's take our next caller.
Next caller.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. If it isn't and another thing, and Big Bear Radio. Closed mouths and closed legs don't get fed, okay? Don't come for me, Big Bear. Don't come for me. You're alive. Don't come for me.
Honestly, I would make that a t-shirt if I didn't think that Here's Johnny was going to come for me. I told him months ago to make that a t-shirt, and he hasn't been on stereo. Like, I think I saw him once after that.
I totally think you should just do it.
Closed mouths and closed legs don't get fed.
Yeah,
it's a good t-shirt.
Or
good,
either that or don't come for me. Either one.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come for me.
Message out to the. Although that might be some reverse psychology. Like all of a sudden, I just have people like taking down their pants. That sounds like a situation I don't want to be in.
All of a sudden, you're like, you got people like, what is your shirt about?
What's going on?
Yeah. The Dos Equis new most interesting man in the world, Big Bear Radio.
Yeah, right.
Tick tock, Hook's afraid of an old dead croc.
I'm not.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Dustin Hoffman plays a great Captain Hook. He really did. And I forget who played Smee, but like that guy was really good too. Yeah, great acting, good story, wholesome family fun. There are some holes in it, so just know that going in. Like my brothers and I have started reanalyzing that movie, and I think Dan Vibes is now pissed off at the Lost Boys. I don't remember why. I do know that yesterday was National Share Day.
What did you share?
No. I mean like Cher. Like I don't know her last name because she only goes by Cher.
As in Sunny and Cher.
As in Sunny and yesterday was apparently her birthday. She's like 70 years old, something like that.
That's all? I thought she was like 70 in the 70s.
Then what even made it better was the fact that Pa Rocky sent Dan Vibes like an invitation because apparently they're making like a life documentary movie about Cher, just like they did with like you know Elton John and Queen.
That is so cool.
Yeah, well, you know, Dan Vibes absolutely hates her, so.
Well,
he does with a passion. He thinks that she's like the devil.
Well, it's cool in that it's going to be funny. And that, you know, I mean, Sonny's kind of a more interesting character than she is, really. I mean, he ran for governor. I think he was governor of California or of Colorado, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you think that they're going to address that? Probably.
Maybe. And then didn't he ski into a tree? Like, isn't he the one that coined the term pulling a Sonny Bono?
I have no idea about that. I've never been skiing in my life.
I think he died by skiing into a tree.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure somebody knows. All right, we have some callers stacking up here. Let's take some callers, and then what I want to do is I want to try and let's clear the callers, and then what I want to try and do is let's present our first topic of the day, our first discussion of the day, and then we can start taking callers on that, right? So if we just address it one thing at a time, and take callers on that, then I feel like we won't be bouncing around as much, or trying not to bounce around as much.
Right, and then the messages will all be pertinent as well.
Exactly.
I think that's a great idea, Bear.
Sweet. All right, let's get through these. We'll take all of Pa Rocky right now.
Bob Hoskins played Smee, and he was fantastic. What about Smee? What about Smee?
What about me? Smee's me. Great movie.
Oh, I love it. Pa Rocky's on fire
Bob
this morning,
Hoskins played Shmee. Bob Hoskins.
Hoskins or Hopkins? Did he have a university?
Or did he have Hodgkinson's disease?
I lost phone privileges for sending Dan that announcement. Dan Good Vibes took away my phone, but I got it back so I could listen to you boys. Drinking vanilla hazelnut. Good morning.
Ooh, nice.
Good.
Up. Let us know.
Oh, yeah. Good morning, Pa Rocky. I got me some, what do I have? I have Luminosa, which is Pete's coffee, their light roast. And then I got that mixed. And then I've got that mixed with some hazelnut as well. So a little flavor going on, baby. Yeah.
I've never been to Pete's. We have one in town. I've always seen it, and I'm like, that looks like a nice coffee shop. But like, I'm not a huge like, hey, let's just go stop and get a coffee. Like, if I go to Starbucks, I get the mango passion fruit lemonade. I don't know. It tastes like a juice box to me when I was a kid. So that's what I'm drinking right now.
Thing.
Oh,
you
yeah,
got a juicy thing going. Yeah. Well,
yeah, dude.
Pete's is very similar to Starbucks. So I imagine they would have a juicy thing for you as well. They're very much in competition with each other. So similar baked goods, yada, yada. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. All right, let's go to our next caller.
How has your week been going?
Mow the ring. Well, how's your week been going, Big Bear?
Just about that way.
No, that good, huh? Okay.
I've been pretty lax this weekend. I've really been trying to just relax, figure out what my next move is. For those of you that don't know, like, I lost my position. Not that I lost it. They're doing a different rotation, having other teachers be in front of the classroom. So like, I haven't been working this week or the past 3 weeks. I'm hoping to get back into rotation. So I mean, like, but I've just been kind of calming myself, I've actually meditated a lot, nice. Which is something different that I haven't done before. I have a really nice one for just kind of relaxing, and if you get a little anxious, I found a nice video on YouTube. And then I also found a nice video on YouTube that's like a 15-minute walk. And I've never thought about meditating while on a walk, right? Usually you're in a safe space, you're laying down, you kind of let your whole body relax and all that stuff. But I've never done one where you're just walking and focusing on your breathing. And it also has you like focus on the different feelings, right?
Oh, yeah.
What do you and senses, right? So what are you hearing? What are you smelling? What are you seeing? What are you feeling? So, right. And I was walking my dog, and it gives you time for each of those to just kind of experience and be in the moment. And that was really fun. So I'm probably going to do more of that.
I love it. I'm a big fan of meditation, I don't know how I stumbled onto it, but yeah, there's all these different walking meditation. Like, you can meditate when you're doing the dishes. It's basically, just being mindful. Like there's a Buddhist saying, when eating, eat, when drinking, drink, right? So when walking, walk. Just pay attention, be with yourself on the walk. Don't be doing your shopping list in your head and this and that, right? Just be present. And be like, really absorb everything that's in that moment, because there are a lot of things that are beautiful and we just overlook them.
it's so hard to be present in the moment, right? We're constantly thinking of the future. What are we going to do for dinner? What are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to
Right.
do next week? What are we going to do in 5 years? I hate that fucking question. What are you going to do in 10 years? I hate that
Yeah.
fucking question. I don't
Let
know
your
what I'm going to do in the next 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to
Sometimes.
say next. Exactly. I don't even know what I'm going to say next. But yeah, that what are you going to do in the I want to hear your 6 month, 1 year, and 5 year plans. Like, too much pressure. I don't want the job.
Yeah. Why do I need to think about that shit? Why can't
Yeah.
you just pay me to do something? Listen, 5 years is not promised. Today, right now, is promised.
Thank you.
You
And
know?
if you want to talk about where I want to be in 6 months, a year, and 5 years, well, that might depend on our pay scale and my pay rate increases, huh? You think?
And reviews and coaching.
Right?
It
Yeah,
depends on
exactly.
everything. Honestly, like,
Self-esteem. Yeah.
yeah, I honestly think that like companies really stopped putting in effort for their employees. Not all, but just like in my experience, like, you know, I don't get trained. People don't get
Yeah.
trained. They get thrown into a room with a TV and popped into DVD, and then they have to watch a video to know how to do their job.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, Bear, you're talking about how I was trained at McDonald's when I was 15. Really? So now everybody's just doing that? Like the bare bones you can get away with? Here, watch this video. I'll be back in
Every
15
job
minutes to
that
ask you
I've
some
had,
questions.
except for like maybe the marketing one, right? Like the
So lame.
video editor. But every job I've had, you know, in any restaurant industry, you know, pretty much everything it's all just sit down, watch this video, it'll tell you how to do the job. And then of course you have like your trainer, right? The person that's supposed to be sitting with you to go over this stuff with you. But of course that person is lazy and took the training job just so that they could not work all day.
Yeah, and exactly. They're like, "Oh, okay, I'll be back in 15 minutes to see if you have any questions." Like, yeah.
So, but I mean, we got on that tangent just because we were talking about being present and in the moment. And this week I was meditating and really enjoyed that. What about you? What about your week, Dave?
You know, I had a pretty good week. You know, I've been really kind of grinding, doing podcasts, and I'm super excited. I went and visited a friend and hung out, did some R&R last couple days. That was really nice, much needed, cleared the head. But while I was there, I noticed he had an Alexa. So I said, "Alexa, play And Another Thing with Dave podcast." And it came on.
That's awesome. That must have
So,
been such an amazing feeling.
dude, it was an amazing moment. You know, like
Yeah.
I exist. I freaking exist. I've been grinding, putting in hard work for 3 years. And finally, two weeks ago, I submitted to Amazon Music and they freaking accepted me, Bear. And now that I'm editing my stuff, and I'm getting it within that ACX, you know, sound checklist, you know, those are tech specifications for non-geekazoids out there. But you know, now that I'm within that acceptability realm, my things are being played on iTunes, on Amazon. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting choked up talking to you, buddy. Yeah,
dude, that's so cool. I'm so proud of you. I'm so happy for you. You're the jerk.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
You are somebody. You're in the phone book.
Exactly, right? Look, I'm in the phone book.
I'm in the phone. He hates these cans.
And hopefully someday I'll get my first job.
Yeah, exactly. Working at a gas station and somebody will teach you how to do it by watching a DVD. Now we've come full circle.
Remember he's getting together with that girl that has the slippery when wet tattoo, and she gives him a blowjob, and he calls his mom, I just had my first job.
I just had my first job. Yeah. When he was working in the circus, right? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
For those of you that aren't getting the references, if watch The Jerk, starring Steve Martin.
Classic, absolute classic. You know, good.
Just know that
family
Steve
comedy
Martin was born. I mean, Steve Martin was born a poor black child. That's how
Yeah.
that movie opens.
That's the opening line, and it's just one of the most hilarious quotable movies of all time. Like it's up there with Friday as far as quotability, right?
Yeah, it really is. It really is. The them being in the tub and like playing like a full tuba and horn and ukulele to sing that one song. Oh my god, I'm gonna watch that movie pretty soon. You know who introduced that to me? Our next caller.
And another thing, you are correct. He was a congressman, and he did die in a skiing accident by skiing into a tree.
I
So
thought
again,
that was it.
Talking about Sonny Bono.
Yep. Yeah, I thought that was it. So I've always had kind of a dark sense of humor. So I always, I grew up skiing, so I always used to say, "Oh, don't pull a Sonny Bono,"
Yeah, yeah. Which that is sad. That is really sad. Somebody couldn't control themselves and skied into a tree.
Yeah, it's
I wonder what
sad, it's
happened.
brutal, and it's also a huge life lesson for the younger ones listening. Like, always stay in control no matter what you're doing. If you're mountain biking, if you're skiing, it's good to rage it and to fly down a hill, but stay within where you can handle it and stop if an emergency
Stay
happens.
within your parameters. Stay
Yeah,
within your control.
because otherwise you're risking not only your own safety, but you could kill somebody else, at those
100%.
speeds.
No, I get
So-
you. I get what you're saying. Yeah.
I grew up crazy, so don't be me.
Did I ever tell you about the time that I jumped my bike off of the wood chip pile?
No, please do.
Oh yeah, they used to have, when I lived in Woodridge, they used to have this playground at the corner of and like there was a sidewalk going down it, right? So like there's this long sidewalk that like starts at the bottom of a hill. So we would ride down the hill to get speed, shoot down the sidewalk for, now we're on pavement, so we're not fighting the ground and grass and all that. And then we would shoot down. This was probably about 50 yards, like so half a football field, to get speed. And then, they would change the wood chips every summer. So they would put this giant wood chip pile at the end of this sidewalk, which goes right into a parking lot. All right, so I think you see where this is going.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So I hit the hill, went straight down 50 yards of this sidewalk, hit the wood chip pile, and launched into the parking lot. Now, I will say that Pa Rocky was present when we were doing this. And for those of you that don't know and are listening to the show, Pa Rocky is my IRL dad. So he was present, and I went off this thing, and I don't know what I did. I think I freaked out, and I let go of my bike. I just let go of it. But yet somehow I landed on the pavement. Probably a couple of scratches and bruises, but I was a young enough kid that like those kids we bounce back. You know what I mean? Like you could almost chop off a kid's arm and he'd be like, "What's wrong?" Like he would be 100% Monty Python. It's just a flesh wound.
Absolutely.
But
that is so funny.
Yet somehow my bike ended up landing on top of me too in the process of letting it go. Yeah, I survived, obviously, and it's been a story, but yeah, it was definitely something that I should have been a little bit more in control of what was going on.
Well, it's always a good thing to be in control of our emotions, of our physical body, especially when it's moving at a high rate of speed, or if it's flying through the air.
Yeah.
But I'm the same kid, Bear, and I would have been following you right behind you on the jump, 10 feet behind you, so we both would have probably eaten it.
Yeah, probably. All right, we have 3 more callers, so we're going to take these callers and we're going to get into our first topic, which is, you want to tease them? You want to give a tease?
Well, yeah, we've got another police story in the news.
We hate to hear them, but you know what? It is something that's been happening, and we like to inform with what's been going on in the week. It definitely is. So, all right, we've got our first police story coming up. after our 4 callers here. Let's start with caller number 1.
All right.
Renegade.
This has nothing to do with anything, really. But I just need opinions.
Perfect.
So if you guys could help a
Okay.
girl out. I got a giant bag of Sour Patch Kids, right? And on the back, there's a recipe for Sour Patch Kids sugar cookies.
Oh my God.
Do I make them? That's all I need to know.
I mean, I got you the family-sized Sour Patch Kids.
Okay, bye. Have a great day.
I think you kind of answered your own question there. I mean, I don't know.
I think she
How could
wants to make that. Yeah, I mean,
How
she
could
loves
you?
to
How
bake.
could you not make them? Yeah. How could
Yeah.
you not make them?
I think
just follow
you
your
should
heart.
at least
Follow your
one
bliss.
batch. One
Yeah.
batch.
Make one batch and then assess. Right. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't want to
Thank you for
overcommit.
Here we go. Second caller.
So Big Bear in Downers Grove, right next to the train station, is your father's theater company's office. It's a Pete's Coffee House. That's where John, Lee, and I meet.
Okay.
And we meet at Pete and have some coffee.
Hey, it leads to good creativity, good improv, and woo, giggity, go, all caffeinated up and ready to go.
I'm sure they were confused when they started receiving mail for Subtext Theater Company.
Yeah, exactly. Like, attention, Pop Rocket. Do we have a pop right over here in the corner? Thank you.
Right here.
Present.
All right, caller number 3. Let's go.
Tell me more, Dave, about these acceptable rates. Like, I saw your IG video where you were talking about, everything's in the green, everything's in the green. What were you talking about there? Is there a certain decibel range you have to be in to be on iTunes? I've been on iTunes from day one. And I don't think I deserved it day one.
The Mind Fox. He's a cool dude right there. Everybody subscribe. This man will tell you everything you ever wanted to know about cannabis and more in his podcast,
Very cool.
The Cannabis Conundrum.
I love
Mind
it. I'm definitely
Fox.
gonna have to check that out. Is it a show on stereo or is it just a podcast?
He's on stereo. It's also a podcast everywhere you can find it. I guess it's also on iTunes. Yeah, it's all over.
That is awesome. I'm gonna follow him.
He's doing great work. Fighting the good fight, fighting the cause.
I'm following you on both stereo and Instagram, Mind Fox. Thank you so much for being a part of the show and contributing. I've always been on iTunes as well. I think it just depends on how you I had to apply to be on iTunes when I first started. I've been on services like, what was it? Oh gosh, Libsyn.com, which is library syndication. So it's just shortened to Libsyn, Libsyn. And I've paid for that subscription, which wasn't bad. It was like only $7 a month. And you had up to 50 megabytes of upload per month. And then it was unlimited storage. And it would automatically distribute your shows that you connected, or it would automatically distribute your shows to the platforms that you connected to your account. Now I've moved my stuff over to Anchor.fm, which is owned by Spotify. So if you're on Anchor.fm, which is a free hosting site, then you automatically get on Spotify. And it will try and apply to be on iTunes for you. Having all said that, okay, so that's, if you want to start a podcast, if anybody wants to start a podcast, that's the best way to go, is Anchor.fm. You can even record straight from your phone using it as a microphone. You can use your phone as an interview process. Like, it does it kind of like stereo where you're doing a phone call, but then it records the isolated audio from them and your isolated audio, and it puts it together. I don't like that, but whatever, it puts it together.
Right, it's a final. It gives you a final mix, yeah.
The parameters at which, like, you need to have stuff is like, now we're in the audio world. We're measuring everything in LUFS, LUFS, instead of decibels. which LUFS are like decibels, but it's more of an overall sound. So it analyzes every frequency over the entire and dynamic range over the entire audio track, and then it lowers it to a certain LUF so that the overall loudness doesn't peak past a certain point. And I believe it's minus 18, minus 16, something like that.
Okay, so that's real similar then. So the ACX check is basically, yeah. So what I read is that if you want your stuff on Audible, right? Especially Audible, and they also mentioned iTunes, but I guess iTunes maybe isn't as stringent. That they want certain parameters, and one of them is the one that you mentioned. So yeah, the minimum is minus 18 to minus 23. Or maximum minus 18 to minimum minus 23 dB as a peak. And then they have an RMS level, which is the average level.
Yeah, which is what LUFS is based off of, is the RMS. So
yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, just audio is constantly changing, and it used to be the overall like RMS, but now it's like the complete dynamic range, right? And they do that too in television. Like when I used to work in television and have to do commercials for Comcast Sportsnet, when we would upload to them, we had to make sure that our decibel level didn't exceed like 24 decibels, like minus 24 decibels, which is pretty low.
Right. That's
It
pretty
really
darn low.
But
because if you're doing audio, you're trying to get to zero. You're trying to get as close to 0 dB as possible, right?
For the most part, you're
in
trying
audio.
In audio. But their systems, they have specific compression and boosting and all that stuff that gets it to the level that it needs to be. But that's why sometimes you'll be watching TV and all the commercials seem like they're fine, except that one commercial that pops out. And that's the one person that didn't follow the directions.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And it would be okay if it was too quiet, but it's never too quiet. It's always blasting, right?
It's always blasting. Yeah, exactly.
I'm cursing these commercial people constantly when I'm watching TV late at night, YouTube late at night, and I'm like trying to be quiet, and then all of a sudden a commercial comes on. I'm like, where's the remote? Where's the remote?
yeah, exactly, because it's so much louder. No, that makes sense. But that's what the industry is trying to do. They're constantly trying to get a standard loudness level so that everybody can meet that. So if you don't know about that, and you're not doing that stuff for your podcast, then maybe research it a little bit more and see if you can achieve that loudness level with the DAW, which is Digital Audio Workspace, that you're in. I work in Adobe Audition. I know. And another thing, you were working in Audacity, but then you got RX8.
Then I upgraded. I got SoundForge Pro 15, and that comes with Isotope RX8, which is where the ACX check feature is, and it's actually even got an ACX correct feature, which is pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and it works
these
fairly decent.
These audio editing we're gonna have to do like an entire show, not now.
We should.
But like we'll have to do an entire show just about like audio editing and video editing and stuff like that, because it is something. I taught it for 3 years. It's something that I'm very knowledgeable about, and like if that's something you guys want to learn, I don't know how well I can do it. Yeah, I don't know how well I could do it in this platform, but I could definitely answer questions and try and help you out as much as possible from this standpoint. Maybe I would make that like a subscription only episode. That would be cool.
That would be really cool. I think we should talk about that. That's got a lot of potential.
Yeah, we'll call it the Engineers Club.
Yeah. And we could talk about it right now, but people would have to grab their pillow and get ready for a snooze fest.
Yeah, exactly. You guys get ready for the best nap of your lives.
Right. Exactly.
It's like
I'm trying to drive to work, man.
One scene in Mrs. Doubtfire when the dude's like standing there playing with the dinosaurs. He's like, now the Tyrannosaurus Rex doesn't like that. Oh my god. My favorite's the
So
raptor,
good.
though. Anyway, let's keep going.
Number one, and I'm
got
sorry
mine,
if
number
I
9.
sound so hazy. It's because of the drugs I'm on, but number one, Cher is going to be 75 years old. Number two, they're doing a biotopic on her. Number three, why would you be talking about those nasty little tick bugs anyway? My cousin got Lyme disease, and it's not funny.
No, it's not.
Number four, I'm working
was
from
laughing.
home, and it takes me about, since I'm on this medication, it takes me about 25 to 30 minutes to be able to speak. So I'll be surprised if this recording comes out anything intelligent. I hate these drugs I'm on, gentlemen. This pain has got to go. It makes me cloudy and uncommunicatable for 25 minutes every fucking morning.
Well, I
Pain
think
is
you did a
horrible.
wonderful job communicating with us this morning. It was in a list fashion. I didn't think that it was incoherent at all, but I am sorry that the drugs are affecting you that way.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Pain is a drag. I feel for you. Yeah. Much love.
Yeah.
Hang in
Friend
there.
of the show, always our fact
Friend of the show.
checker. Are reliable on line number 9. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's
The lovely May the
May
poet.
The lovely May the poet.
Oh, and by the way, I'm not sure if this is just a memory of mine or not from my childhood, but I believe when my father's company was sponsoring the Sonny and Cher show, we went to a taping of it when I was a kid, when I was really young, I believe. Oh, that's my job. They dedicated like a rock to me because of all the medical issues I've been having. But I believe I was actually at a taping of the Sonny and Cher show in the 70s. That tells you how old I am. But yeah, I believe so. He worked for a company called Young and Rubicam, which was a big, and still probably is a big advertisement company. And I believe they were accountable for the Sonny and Cher show. And I believe me, my mom, my dad, and my sister wasn't born then, probably went to a taping at that point, I believe.
Very cool.
That is very cool. All right. I'm going to play one more from May, and then I have a few from Mindfox, and then EMC and May. So we love the fact that you guys are participating and getting involved in the conversation. That is what this show is about. After we get through some of these callers, we are going to address the first topic, which is our unfortunate another police news story for the week, which I've kind of been out of it. I've been checked myself out this week, so I'm going to rely solely on And Another Thing to be informative, which I do. I rely on that. So but first, let's get to May and finish up these calls, and we will get to our news.
All right, so the Sonny and Cher show was 1976 to 77. It didn't last long, or maybe a little longer than that. So my sister was born in 73. That would have made her a little young to be going to a Sonny and Cher show. So I think we went to the taping and she was babysat that night. I swear to God, I was at one of those show tapings. I really do.
What a great experience, too.
Yeah, what a cool thing to do as a kid.
That
See
would be
the behind the scenes.
Well, I mean, your dad must have had an amazing job. You know?
Yeah.
And
that would be cool to witness.
My dad had an amazing job. I mean, he still does, but he used to work at Frankel and Company, which is a marketing company that no longer exists in Chicago. But they were responsible for the toy in the Happy Meal of McDonald's.
That's cool trivia.
Oh yeah, so I mean, and he worked in audio visual, so that's where I get my audio and video editing and stuff from, is all him. And when it was take your kid to work day, everybody wanted to go with Dad because my mom had a boring office job that we just sat next to her while she sat at a computer, and my dad had an amazing job that allowed us to go to a giant conference room and watch The Matrix on a giant silver screen. So which one are you going to go to? And then my dad would come in and talk about his job at like career day and bring just like a giant bag or box of Happy Meal toys and hand those out. So you were the coolest kid.
Yeah, can't beat that.
No. Thanks, Dad.
Yeah.
For your
Hey,
amazing job privilege.
Should we go with May the Poet or should we go with Mind Fox next?
You go with what you want to go with. I'm going to let you control. I'm actually going to get dressed because I've kind of just been walking around in my underwear saying I was going to get stuff
I'm
done.
free. I'm free balling. Is that what you're saying? You were singing a little Tom Petty over there?
Just a little. Just half Tom Petty. Anyway, no, I've just...
You had one ball swinging.
I'm going to let you control the messages while I control my clothes a little bit.
Get those gonads under control. Do what you got to do. Strap them down. You know, safety first. I understand. I completely understand. Sometimes things can get out of control. You know, so let's go with Mind Fox, line number 3.
So I started Anchor. Cannabis Conundrum started on Anchor. It's been on Anchor the whole time. So it's Awesome Sauce Radio. But I've never had a single person, a single company provider ask me for parameters. The only thing they've ever asked me is how many listeners do I have? And that's based on your first 7 days of the episode being live.
Yeah.
I went and submitted to tune in on my own with the Anchor RSS feed. I went to Pandora on my own with the RSS feed. The only one who's ever told me no is fuck iHeartRadio.
iHeart. Actually, I have a connection with iHeart who got her podcast there. So, I mean, it might be the context of what you're talking about, but I mean, it is the way of the future. So if you want to be connected with that or get a little insight, let me know.
Yeah, it's got to be the content because I'm on iHeartRadio.
Okay. Yeah. Which is so dumb. I mean, like literally.
It's a radio station. So what?
This is a weekly wrap-up.
People can switch.
Right? I lied. I kind of stayed a little bit in the know-how. I did see that Georgia just passed or put in for medical marijuana. I mean, and that's a swing state.
Hey.
Right? And I don't know who the names are, but I did hear that 2 Republican senators are putting forth a motion or trying to put forth a bill that would federally legalize cannabis.
Imagine that. Talk about creating jobs.
And that's 2 Republican senators that I heard, which, like, if they're on board with it, like, that's the thing. We really need the Republicans to pull this forth.
Big time. I mean, we're waiting on them, basically. Yeah. I mean, I read these statistics, and don't quote me here because I don't have the article or anything. But going from memory, I'm going off the number of legalized states that have medical or legalized recreational marijuana. 77,000 jobs created, more than the entire coal industry, and that's just with the amount of states that have passed it so far.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I applied this week to work at one of the dispensaries because, like, one, I asked somebody. I went there and I was like, hey, so what do you like about this job? Like, what do you like working here? And she's like, oh my God, I love working here. I get an amazing pay. I have benefits. It's amazing. And it's in the medical field too.
Product sampling?
Maybe. Who knows?
Hopefully.
That was actually one of the questions in the application was like, not specifically product sampling, but like, what is your expected compensation? And I was like, oh my God, what the fuck do I like? Do I just say like money plus free weed or
right? Dude, like, am I allowed to say that? Like, is this a character test?
Or like half an ounce a week or or
Right? Yeah. And you could just imagine some Trustafarian kid reading that, right? Like, bro, I'm okay as far as rent goes. I was just looking for some free
some
stash,
free,
bro.
yeah, right, some free weed, exactly. Exactly. But you know, it
Parents are
makes sense
totally
that
kicking
like,
down for rent, bro, but I need to fill my stash. You know what I'm saying, dog?
yeah, but it makes sense that like if you work at a restaurant, right? What's the first thing that they do like all training week?
Yeah. Hey, we offer free food, free meal while
No,
you're
no, no.
working.
They give you yeah, exactly. They give you the meals so that you can
Hmm.
like talk about them with
Oh,
your customers at the table.
absolutely. You need to be able to sell it. Yeah.
So
Yep.
I mean, it just
Food,
stands to
wine.
reason that I should totally get some free weed out of that. But you
It
know,
totally does. And it always pisses me off when I go to a dispensary and I'm like, oh, yeah. So what's up with this? Have you tried this? And if they say no, then I feel like you were just describing, like, great. So you're not a sommelier. You're not even a good waiter. Like, and I guess the owners are
yeah.
too greedy to really have you know the product that they're making tons of money off of. Oh, okay. So now you just went
Well,
down
I
a
mean,
notch on my favorite dispensary list.
there's that, but there's also like maybe that because there's only certain strains that I partake in.
Hmm.
Like I have a heart rhythm problem, so I don't do any sativas that increase the rate of my heart.
Right, right.
So maybe there's that too. So
Yeah,
don't
totally.
be so quick to judge. All right, I'm gonna let you take the rest of the callers, and then we'll get to our first topic. Even though we've gotten to like 10 topics already today.
Ah, we're good. We're good. Mind Fox coming in hot.
So is there a place, guys, that I should like submit my audio for mastering before I upload it to Anchor? I've heard of other people talk about other services. I mean, they'll give you like 3 hours a month free.
I've heard of a
Yeah,
couple automatic audio editing programs, but I've never tried one, and I would be suspect. But I'd be amazed if But with new technology, you never know, though. So maybe it
I've
is up to
tried
speed.
I've tried the Lensa, I think is what it is, or something. It was like a free mastering, where you upload your MP3 to this website portal and then they kick back
Yep.
a mastered version, which, to be honest, if you have Adobe Audition and you just run a couple of effects on it, some processing effects, you're going to accomplish close to the same damn thing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And it's all about your knowledge level. If you don't have the knowledge, audio background or whatever, then yeah, I've also read about subscription services for podcast editing, like $15 a month or something like that. This one guy was doing $5 a podcast. He's from India, right? So that's probably like the equivalent of 50. But for a 30-minute podcast, he'll edit it for $5.
For a
Can't beat that.
30-minute podcast, $5?
Yeah.
Man,
Because he is over in Punjabi.
I don't know. Like, I would say $5 for maybe like a 15-minute podcast, but
Yeah, I wouldn't. For $5, I'll open your email. I'll read it for another $5.
I'll read it another $5. No, I mean, if it's something that you're worried about, Mindfox, I would, send it to Dave or me, and we'll listen to it or take a look at it. And if it's something that maybe you want to work a deal out of, we could totally work a deal out. I cannot wait for Stereo to release the multiple host position, like, update.
Oh, me either.
Because like you, me, and like from what I'm hearing, the Mindfox would do a great, like, so you want to start a podcast show.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Many potentialities
And to be honest,
there.
the show that you're in, the Weed versus Alcohol, comes out Tuesday. The first stereo live show we did, and I made it a podcast. I took 5 hours down to an hour. I can't wait for y'all to hear it.
I commend your editing.
Yeah. Oh my God. And Mindfucks. Yeah, I gotta give you props there too, because I've done that. Oh my God. I took a 5 hour show and I turned it into 5 different episodes. And oh my God. Yeah. Talk about like 3.5, 4 hours later. Ah,
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
hooah. Yeah.
Good for you, man.
I would love to learn more about audio and editing and all of that. That would be fantastic.
Big truck in the background. Well, cool. We've got votes then. I guess we gotta do an audio show. Hey, we got line number 9 coming in hot. May the
Okay,
poet.
last message for a while. And I would definitely be head of that snooze fest because I would love to go back to sleep. With these drugs in my system, oh yeah. So you go ahead and idle away about whatever electronics you got going on there. Denise just shook her head and said, sure, we'll go back to sleep, not a problem. We're both working from my house today. I'm working from home. I'm incapable of functioning properly. Let's just put it that way. See, I'm hearing myself stutter. This is the medication, not me, folks. Yeah, I'm incapable of doing anything valuable at this moment. So sleeping, though, I'm really good at. So if you just want to put me to sleep, I'll be more than glad to curl back up and go back to sleep. Not a problem. Mission accomplished. Greatly appreciated, though.
Nope, yeah, that's another program. We were just talking about what we might do a program about if people were interested. They appear to be interested, so we'll do that another time. But May the Poet, this is for you. And I have become comfortably numb. Hello, hello, hello.
Is
Just
there
not if you
anybody
can
in
hear
there?
me.
Oh,
Yeah.
not if you can hear me. Sorry, I didn't know
Is
that you were
there
moving on.
anyone at home? Yeah, whatever. There's many quotable verses.
Well, it's an amazing song based in one of my favorite David Gilmour solos.
Oh my
Like,
God, yeah. I
How
would
he
have to
can
say,
get the sounds out of his guitar, like wow, 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 like just the way he pick squeals that first note. It's just the first note of his solo, and he's pick squealing it, and you're just like, oh my God, just all right. I can get
the way
nerdy
he
with that
hangs
too.
on a note. Yeah, I would have to say that's my favorite solo of all time.
The sustainability of his guitar and rig, is just amazing.
Unreal, unparalleled. Yep.
Do you know
King
that
of sustain.
I think you and I may have talked about this before, but David Gilmour he only recorded his solos in one take.
Wow, I think you might have mentioned that before. That's just mind-blowing, though. I mean, talk about next level. And
Well,
you can really hear it in the solo, right? Because it sounds authentically fresh, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it does. It does. I agree with that. His thing was, if there's mistakes, they're meant to be there because it's his playing.
Right. And that's what you would hear at a concert. They're not going to go, oh, wait, let me redo that. No, that live and direct, baby.
Yeah, but
I've
definitely seen I own the movie Roger Waters' The Wall, right? The concert. And I love Roger Waters. Don't get me wrong, but I love Pink Floyd more. Roger Waters was never better than Pink Floyd, in my opinion.
Oh God, no. Neither one. I mean, they're both amazing. David Gilmour's solo was amazing, but neither one could touch what they created together.
Exactly. And the thing is to watch The Wall and see someone else, some other asshole try and play those solos.
Yeah,
they don't even get close.
Yeah, exactly. And it's sacrilege, really, because nobody else should play those songs. That's kind of, I mean, I feel like it's like church to me. I mean, I'm sorry. It's like church to me. That's sacrilege, man. No, there's one David Gilmour.
Yes.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's like the Beatles, right? John and Paul were both amazing solo artists, but they created magic together as the Beatles. And you got to count in what's his name? George Harrison too. He was an amazing part of that.
Yes. And Ringo Starr.
Yeah, Ringo. Most underrated drummer of all time, probably.
He really is. And that's the other thing, is just like, so was Pink Floyd's drummer, and I can't remember his name right now, which is pissing me off.
Me either.
But I mean, that guy, he wasn't complicated. You know what I mean? Like, neither was Ringo. Like, Ringo could get complicated, and that's why he's amazing. Is that, like, if you've ever listened to him completely open up on a drum set, holy fuck! Like, go on YouTube.
Nick Mason.
Yeah. All right, we gotta move forward.
Oh, sorry, work called. I missed one of my messages. But Cher's birthday was yesterday, May 20th. She officially turned 75 on May 20th. And now I got to look up some more information. My job called about the biotopic to see if there's a estimated date that it'll be on whatever network. So I have to go look.
A biopic. That's like a new phrase, isn't it? Biopic. We're doing a biopic.
Brought to you by Biopics.
Yeah, and then Bioptics. That's right.
Bioptics.
We're bisexual and we create optical wear.
What's up, Dave? How you doing today? How are you doing, Big Bear? How you doing as well?
Ryan Hyde, what's going on, man?
Good morning.
We're doing fantastic. I'm doing fantastic, at least. I can't speak for Bear, but, doing all right. And where are you at, Ryan? How are you doing?
I'm on the show. We're about an hour in, and, like, we're having a great conversation. So, yeah, It's Friday.
Hoo-ah, hoo-ah. Scent of a weekend.
Here in Arizona, I don't think all of them do it, but most dispensaries require all their associates to try everything they sell. So you're going to come home with free samples. I don't know about California. I don't know. I would assume it would be the same. If I owned a dispensary, I would want everybody in the know.
All right. Just because my name's Big Bear doesn't mean I'm in California. I'm actually from Chicago. Live in Chicago.
Well, I'm in California, Northern California, the southern tip of the Emerald Triangle, to be specific. So here they leave it up to the individual club. So some get samples, discount product, even free product. What's that?
You live in Oz?
Pretty much. Or Kansas. City? Yeah, exactly.
That's what happened. She didn't actually go anywhere to, like, an alternate dimension. She just teleported to California.
Exactly. There you go. Yeah, they hold the there's an Emerald Cup every year on, wait for it, 420. Huge, taste test. All the growers come down from Mendocino and Humboldt and display their finest strains of the year. There's usually amazing artists and music.
That'd be so cool.
Like, Damian Marlin's played, Ziggy Marley's play. Like, just they get huge acts, cake, and it's massive. I think it's California's largest cannabis cup, and it's right at the foot of the growing country. So you're not going to find better product.
Cup idea. Like, it's just like a brewery idea here, right? Like, we're
brewers competition.
Exactly. We had like our local radio station. They have a thing called Cockadoodle Brew Fest, where it's just like all the brewers. All the brewers come together and they bring their, like, beer, and you just you pay a ticket, and then you get, like, a card, and you go around from table to table and just try beer.
Yeah, sample the wares, give a vote, right?
That sounds awesome. Yeah. I want to do the exact same thing with cannabis.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. People are like, "Oh, try my new flavor of dab." You're like, okay. Thanks.
Gotta be careful with them dabs, though.
Oh, God, yeah. Do you got a chair available? Let me sit down first.
Hey, Big Bear. I know how it feels. I have a heart issue, too. My valve does not work properly. It's my aortic valve.
All right, voice man.
Sorry to hear that, man.
I have atrial fibrillation, which means that the electric signals from my brain are not constantly going to my heart. So sometimes I can have off rhythm my rhythm is out of sinus sometimes on my heart. So like sometimes the top part of my heart beats faster than the bottom part of my heart.
You know what's amazing, Bear? And I don't know if you've seen any of these TED Talks or any of these things about microdosing, but I watched a couple microdosing psilocybin, that is, but I've watched a couple documentaries in the last week. And what they're talking about is the potential for this to help rewire the brain. So in cases of brain injury or even dementia or Alzheimer's, another part of the brain will pick up the function of the deteriorating part of the brain. So
That's so crazy.
I'm wondering if the because that's an electric signal being sent out by your brain to your heart. So I'm wondering
Yep.
if microdosing couldn't help restructure that connection.
In the future, definitely. Yeah, that'd be cool.
And I'm not telling, I'm promoting that you go out and do it. I'm just promoting that you research it a little bit.
No, well, yeah. I mean, I think science should research. I think they're definitely making some strides. Like I said, I like the Facebook addition to like the news articles of like the app. So every once in a while I'll click on there, and I saw an article headline. I don't remember what it was from. I'll have to go back and find it. But that scientists found, like, actually traced a thought through the human brain, like actually watched it go from compartment to compartment.
Fascinating.
Right?
Awesome.
Like, and if we can do that, we can channel pathways of memories and thoughts. Then I also saw something that apparently the human brain can support another appendage. That they hooked up like this finger to somebody's hand, so it would be like 6 fingers, right? The 6-finger man. I mean, you better look out for Inigo Montoya. Inigo Montoya. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that. Anyway,
I come for you with my middle finger.
So yeah, they attached like this robotic finger to this person's hand by Velcro straps. Like they didn't actually put it on their hand, but and the person was able to move that finger using their brain, like electrical signals to the brain. So they found out that apparently our brain can support another appendage, which
So
means
maybe we used to have a tail.
Oh,
right?
That's definitely possible. Oh yeah.
The only strap-on finger I've ever seen was at that Good Vibrations vibrator store in San Francisco. They had a strap-on finger.
Be clean. Be clean. Good Vibrations. Only here, folks, on the weekly wrap-up. Uh-oh, Smokey, your mic's not working, man.
Hey, Smokey. Yeah, hey, Smoke Dog. Hey, Smoke Dog, put down that bong and turn up your microphone, man.
Yeah, look what's
Smokey,
going on here.
What's going on?
All right, well, before we move on, I'd like to just say thank you to Paraki, Smokey, the Mind Fox, Awesome Sauce, Alpha,
EMC.
What's good, Mike? I'm just that girl.
Me, the poet.
Moni Mona and Lisi He-Mink. So thank you so much for listening to us, for hanging out with us. We're going to start diving into our first topic, which is
video withheld for 2 years shows a black man's fatal arrest as he pleads for his life. Yeah, baby, yeah. So May
this
20th.
This video was held for 2 years because I see the headline to this article.
That's the headline. Video withheld for 2 years shows a black man's fatal arrest as he pleads for his life. Horrible image from the video in the article of an angry white cop, all flexed, like you could see the grimace on his face, like, argh! And he's dragging this black man on his face on the ground, dragging him backwards, face on the ground, pulling him from his feet. New Orleans, Louisiana State troopers were captured on body camera video, stunning, punching, and dragging a black man as he apologized for leading them on a high-speed chase. footage
Oh
of
my
the man's
God.
last moments alive that the Associated Press obtained after authorities refused to release it for 2 years. I'm your brother. So in quotes, I'm your brother. I'm scared. I'm scared. Ronald Green can be heard yelling as white trooper to the white troopers as the unarmed man is jolted repeatedly with a stun gun before he even gets out of the car along a dark rural road. So never pull over on a dark stretch of road. The 2019 arrest outside Monroe, Louisiana, is the subject of a federal civil rights investigation, but unlike other in-custody deaths across the nation where body camera video was released almost immediately, Green's case has been shrouded in secrecy and accusations of a cover-up. Louisiana officials have rebuffed repeated calls to release the footage and details about what caused the 49-year-old's death. Troopers initially told Green's family, wait for it, he died on impact after crashing into a tree during the chase. Later, state police released a one-page statement acknowledging only that Green struggled with troopers and died on his way to the hospital. Complete turnaround there. Only now, in the footage obtained by AP from one of the troopers' body cameras, can the public see for the first time what really happened. It's a 46-minute clip, one trooper wrestling Green to the ground, putting him in a chokehold, punching him in the face, while another can be heard calling him a stupid motherfucker. Green wails, I'm sorry, as another officer delivers another stun gun shock to his backside and warns, look, you're going to get it again if you don't put your fucking hands behind your back. Another trooper can be seen briefly dragging the man face down after his legs had been shackled and his hands cuffed behind him. So handcuffed, shackled, dragging him on his face. Instead of rendering aid, the troopers leave the heavyset man unattended, face down and moaning for more than 9 minutes as they use sanitizer wipes to wash blood off of their hands and faces from splattering. I hope this guy ain't got fucking AIDS, one of the troopers is heard saying. After several minutes stretch in which Green is not seen on camera, he appears again, limp, unresponsive, bleeding from his head and his face. He is then loaded onto an ambulance gurney, his arm cuffed to the bed rail. In many parts of the video, Green is not on screen, and the trooper appears to cut the microphone off about halfway through, making it difficult to piece together exactly what happened at all times. At least 6 troopers were on the scene of the arrest, but not all had their body cameras on, And quote unquote, they murdered him. It was set out, it was planned, Green's mother said. Mona Hardin said Wednesday, he did not have a chance. Ronnie didn't have a chance. He wasn't going to live to tell about it. An attorney for Green's family, Lee Merritt, said the footage had some of the same hallmarks of the George Floyd video, the length of it, the sheer brutality. He apologized in an attempt to surrender, Merritt said. The guy was apologizing to the cop. Louisiana State Police declined to comment on the contents of the video. In a statement, the agency said the premature public release of investigative files and video evidence in the case is not authorized and undermines the investigative process and compromises the fair and impartial outcome. I call bullshit on that. State police brass initially argued the troopers' use of force was justified, awful but not unlawful. Or no, awful but lawful is the quote. It was awful but lawful. What?
How is that lawful? Oh my God. All right, keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop because and did not open an administrative investigation for 474 days after Green's death. No investigation for 474 days. They held the video for 2 years. Police departments have to stop putting roadblocks up to information that is in the public eye questionable. They have to reveal all that they know when they know it, said Andrew Scott, a former Boca Raton, Florida police chief who testifies an expert witness in use of force cases. It also suggests you're hiding something, while noting Green was not without fault and appeared to resist troopers' orders, Scott said, dragging the handcuffed man face down by his ankle shackles was malicious, sadistic, and completely unnecessary. That should never have happened. He said, you've got the guy completely compromised. He's not hurting anybody. Charles Key, another use of force expert and former Baltimore police lieutenant, questioned the trooper's decision to leave Green unattended, handcuffed, and prone for several minutes, citing the practice just dead wrong. You don't leave somebody lying on the ground, particularly after you've had a fight, Key said. The training has been for a number of years that as soon as you get someone under control, you put them on their side to facilitate their breathing, and particularly this guy, because he was heavy. Governor John Bell Edwards allowed Green's family to view the same body camera footage last year and pledged to release it to the public after the federal investigation runs its course. Wow. So they'll do the federal investigation first, then release the video. Green's family has filed a wrongful death lawsuit alleging troopers brutalized Green and left him beaten, bloodied, and in cardiac arrest. Before covering up the cause of his death, his family has released graphic photographs of Green's body on a gurney, showing deep bruises and cuts on his face and head. Green was a barber who failed to pull over for an unspecified traffic violation shortly after midnight on May 10th, 2019, about 30 miles south of the Arkansas state line. That's where the video obtained by AP begins, with Trooper Dakota DeMoss chasing his SUV. Oh my God. I mean, where do you even go with this?